Leviticus chapter 14. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, these are the instructions for anyone with a serious skin disease. On the day they are pronounced clean, they are to be brought to the priest. The priest goes outside the camp and examines them. If the disease is healed, the priest orders that 2 live clean birds, cedar wood, scarlet yarn, and hyssop be brought for the one being cleansed. The priest orders that one of the birds be killed over fresh water in a clay pot. Then he takes the live bird, the cedar wood, the scarlet yarn, and the hyssop, and dips them along with the live bird into the blood of the bird that was killed over the fresh water. He sprinkles the person being cleansed 7 times and pronounces him clean. Then he releases the live bird into the open field. The person being cleansed must wash their clothes, shave off all their hair, and bathe with water. Then they will be clean. After that they may come into the camp, but must stay outside their tent for 7 days. On the 7th day they must shave off all their hair, their head, beard, and eyebrows, shave it all off. They must wash their clothes and bathe themselves with water, and they will be clean. On the 8th day they must bring 2 male lambs without flaw, 1 ewe lamb a year old without flaw, 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil for a grain offering, and 1 log of oil. The priest who pronounced them clean presents them in their offerings before the Lord at the entrance of the tent of meeting. The priest takes 1 of the male lambs and offers it as a guilt offering along with the log of oil. He waves them before the Lord as a wave offering. He slaughters the lamb in the place where the sin offering and the burnt offering are slaughtered in the holy place. Like the sin offering, the guilt offering belongs to the priest. It is most holy. The priest takes some of the blood of the guilt offering and puts it on the lobe of the right ear of the one being cleansed, on the thumb of their right hand, and on the big toe of their right foot. The priest then takes some of the oil, pours it into the palm of his own left hand, and dips his right finger into the oil. He sprinkles some of it 7 times before the Lord. Some of the remaining oil in his hand he puts on the lobe of the right ear, the thumb of the right hand, and the big toe of the right foot of the one being cleansed, on top of the blood of the guilt offering. The rest of the oil in his hand he pours on the head of the one being cleansed and makes atonement for them before the Lord. Then the priest offers the sin offering and makes atonement for the one being cleansed from their uncleanness. After that the priest offers the burnt offering along with the grain offering. So the priest makes atonement for them, and they are clean. If the person is poor and cannot afford all of this, they may bring 1 male lamb for a guilt offering to be waved to make atonement for them, along with 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil for a grain offering, a log of oil, and 2 doves or 2 young pigeons, whatever they can afford. 1 bird is for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering. On the 8th day they bring these to the priest at the entrance of the tent of meeting before the Lord. The priest takes the lamb of the guilt offering and a log of oil and waves them before the Lord. He slaughters the lamb and takes some of its blood and puts it on the lobe of the right ear, the thumb of the right hand, and the big toe of the right foot of the one being cleansed. The priest puts some of the oil in the palm of his own left hand, sprinkles some of it 7 times before the Lord, and applies the oil to the same places as the blood. The rest of the oil he pours on the head of the one being cleansed to make atonement before the Lord. Then he offers the sin offering and the burnt offering together with the grain offering. So the priest makes atonement for them, they are clean. These are the instructions for anyone with a serious skin disease who cannot afford the regular offerings. The Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, when you enter the land of Canaan, which I am giving you as your possession, and I put a spread in disease in a house in that land, the owner of the house must go and tell the priest, there appears to be some kind of disease in my house. The priest orders the house to be emptied before he enters to examine it, so that nothing in the house will become unclean. Then the priest goes in to examine the house. If the disease on the walls is greenish or reddish depressions that appear deeper than the surface, the priest goes out of the house to the entrance and closes it up for 7 days. On the 7th day the priest returns and examines it. If the disease is spread on the wall, house. The priest orders the affected stones to be torn out and thrown into an unclean place outside the town. Into an unclean place outside the town. Into an unclean place outside the town. He has the inside of the house scraped and the plaster thrown into an unclean place outside the town. Then they take new stones and replace the old ones, and new plaster is applied. If the disease comes back after the stones have been torn out and the house scraped and replastered, the priest goes in and examines it. If the disease has spread, it is a destructive disease. The house is unclean. It must be torn down, its stones, timber, and all its plaster, and taken outside the town to an unclean place. Anyone who enters the house while it is closed up will be unclean until evening. Anyone who sleeps in the house or eats there must wash their clothes. But if the priest examines it and the disease is not spread after the house was replastered, he pronounced the house clean. The disease has healed. To purify the house, he takes 2 birds, cedar wood, hyssop, and scarlet yarn. He kills one of the birds over fresh water in a clay pot. Then he takes the cedar wood, the hyssop, the scarlet yarn, and the live bird, dips him in the blood of the bird that was killed, and sprinkles the house 7 times. He cleanses the house with the blood of the bird, the fresh water, the live bird, the cedar wood, the hyssop, and the scarlet yarn. Then he releases the live bird outside the town, going into the open fields. So he makes atonement for the house, and it is clean. These are the instructions for every kind of skin, disease, and itch, for diseased clothing, for a swelling, rash, or bright spot, to determine when something is unclean. And when it is clean, this is the law of serious skin diseases.